export activities bustling in Mekong Delta. And Vietnam becomes hotspot for high-tech investment. In war news, Munich Security Conference 2024 kicks off.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. The Party Central Committee Secretariat met in Hanoi on February 16 to review the implementation of its Directive number 26 issued on November 23rd last year on organizing the Lunar New Year 2024 celebrations and assigning some focal tasks to all level party committees. A report delivered at the meeting noted that thanks to the early issuance of the directive, party committees and administrations at all levels were actively prepared to ensure a merry, safe, and economical date for everyone. Gift and assistance worth nearly $815 million were presented to nearly 14 million people from target groups. Regarding post-date duties, the Secretariat orders agencies, units, and locality to immediately get down to political tasks, quickly resume normal service operations, promote industrial productions and constructions, properly tend to the winter-spring rice crop, actively prevent crop and livestock diseases, and continue assisting important sectors directly hit by changes in the global market. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, head of the State Steering Committee for National and Key Transport Projects, chaired the night session of the Steering Committee on Friday. Representatives from 46 provinces and cities with key projects attended the meeting online. At the meeting, the Prime Minister highlighted the goal of accelerating key project implementation in 2024. This will contribute to realizing strategic milestones in infrastructure. More to follow.
In 2023, the State Steering Committee for National and Key Transport Projects held 5 meetings. The Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Ministers issued directives and telegrams while personally inspecting construction sites. The government leaders approved varied measures to address persistent issues related to site clearance, construction materials, quotas, construction unit prices, and investment preparation. As a result, many key transportation projects have been inaugurated. In his speech, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized the difficulties in implementing key national transportation projects and the significance of these projects in the country's overall infrastructure development.
The total investment capital to be disbursed for 2024 key national projects is over $17.2 billion. Their completion helps the country realize 3 important goals: promoting growth, creating jobs, and new development spaces. That is why I ask all relevant parties to actively carry out all commitments and agreements on schedule, improve project quality and aesthetics, and ensure labor safety and environmental protection.
The Prime Minister also outlined key tasks in the coming time. He requested all relevant parties coordinate closely and resolve issues whenever detected. Special attention must be paid to people's livelihoods in resettlement areas. Inspections and examinations must be regularly carried out to prevent corruption and other negativity while strictly handling violations, especially those related to raw material stockpiling and price gouging.
Vice State President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân on Thursday attended the 1984th anniversary of the Hai Bà Trưng, or the Two Trưng Sister Uprising, and opened the Hai Bà Trưng Temple Festival, marking the Year of Dragon. In Mê Linh District, Hanoi, the leader offered incense to pay tribute to the 2 outstanding heroes of their nations. Speaking at the ceremony, she emphasized that the uprising had great significance, leaving the nation an invaluable legacy. This is a nation united, stood up, and resolutely fought to regain freedom and independence for their fatherland. No force could win over it. On Friday, Deputy Prime Minister Trần Ông Hà had a phone call with his Russian counterpart, Deputy Prime Minister Valentino Novak. The Vietnamese leader affirmed that Vietnam appreciates the comprehensive strategic partnership with Russia, wishing it to continue to develop and achieve many substantive results. The two sides agreed to implement the free trade agreement between Vietnam and the Eurasian Economic Union, effectively creating favorable market access conditions for each other. Potential cooperation in climate change response and digital government were also mentioned. In the Mekong Delta, our export activities were quite vibrant in the first days of the new lunar year. Businesses signed many new contracts and quickly prepared to deliver goods to partners. This positive signal predicts a new year of breakthroughs in export turnover for the Delta.
Having just delivered a batch of fragrant rice to Europe, this factory continues to win more orders from Southeast Asian countries. Therefore, the factory is busy even on the first days after Tate.
We are packaging 360 tons of rice today, and we expect to finish packaging 1,000 tons in the next 2 days to export to Malaysia.
Organic rice products exported to Europe can be priced at $1,500 per ton. In addition, the Vietnamese rice brand has been highly regarded globally. This is the first batch of high-quality fertilizer from the Mekong Delta that has conquered two demanding markets, Australia and New Zealand.
We have mastered technologies, increased capacity, and created many products with the best nutritional formulas possible to conquer these fastidious markets.
The government's efforts to invest in and complete hundreds of kilometers of highways for the Mekong Delta motivate FDI enterprises to flock to this region. Once processing and manufacturing factories are expanded, they will help ensure export turnover soon exceeds the $24 billion that the Mekong Delta racked up last year.
Export of goods to major markets show a strong recovery in the first month of this year. Specifically, export to the European Union witnessed a growth of nearly 18% compared to the same period. Vietnamese trade agencies in Europe reported that Vietnam enjoys a significant advantage with free trade agreements between Vietnam and the EU or EVFTA entering its fourth year of implementation. As a result, approximately 90% of goods will be subject to zero tax. Essential Vietnamese products such as food, textiles, and footwear have all experienced positive growth. However, it is important to note that EVFTA merely provides an opportunity to enter the market. The key lies in making great efforts towards implementation. Building irrigation system, expanding wet paddy cultivation areas, and providing ethnic farmers with rice farming methods are key measures that have been effectively implemented by local authorities in many districts and provinces along the border areas of the Central Highlands. These efforts have helped thousands of ethnic people reduce poverty and maintain a stable livelihood.
This is Siu Tuan's first time preparing for the winter-spring rice crop. However, with the assistance of the local authorities who help expand the rice growing areas and provide methods for all year-round farming, Tuan believes he will have a bumper crop this year.
Previously, I could only harvest one rice crop per year, but now, thanks to the support of local authorities, I can grow crops all year round.
The EMR irrigation system has transformed the lives of numerous ethnic people residing in the border area of Chu Prong district. Throughout the construction of this irrigation system, border soldiers were stationed in various locations to offer rice farming techniques and practical trainings to local farmers.
We provided agricultural training and taught ethnic people step by step to help them better understand and learn more quickly. We also called on local businesses and agricultural cooperatives to provide support for ethnic people in terms of farm machinery and equipment.
We closely monitored ethnic people's agricultural production, provided them with new farming methods, and hands-on experience to help them grow successful rice crops.
The Iamao Valley is a suitable land for rice cultivation, yet it has not been effectively utilized. local authorities in two Prong districts have mobilized all available resources to expand the rice-growing areas for farmers. This endeavor is expected to positively impact the lives of thousands of poorest ethnic people living in remote border areas.
Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam becomes hotspot for high-tech investment. And Cà Mau steps up efforts to protect mangrove forests. Ninety percent of employees at enterprises in some provinces return to work on February 16 after the date Lunar New Year holiday. In Hanoi and Đồng Nai, over 90% of workers have resumed work after the annual holiday. Similarly, Thái Nguyên, Hải Dương, and Đồng Tháp provinces report a strong return to work rate, ranging from 95% to 98%. These figures are expected to rise further as many businesses delay the reopening of factories until the 10th day of the lunar calendar, signaling the start of the next week. Industrial production in Ho Chi Minh City has undergone significant positive changes. Exports in the first month of the year are estimated to be valued at around $3.8 billion, an increase of nearly 20% compared to the same period last year. According to a survey, the majority of businesses in Ho Chi Minh City have stable orders after the Lunar New Year, with many enterprises securing orders until the end of the year. In order to meet the demand, workers are working in 3 shifts per day. Additionally, there are footwear manufacturing businesses that have orders until the end of the second quarter. The city's main partners for export are the US, EU, Japan, South Korea, and China. Workers are working overtime 5 days a week. Furthermore, the city has implemented various solutions to support businesses in enhancing their competitive advantage. Mastering technology will be the key to the success of Vietnamese businesses in the digital era. According to the 2023 Global Innovation Index report, Vietnam ranks 46th out of 132 countries and economies, up 2 places compared to the previous year. Thanks to that, Vietnam has emerged as an attractive destination for global technology corporations for high-tech manufacturing, research and development. More to follow.
NVIDIA chips are at the center of mainstream technology. Behind this success is none other than NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. While other trillion USD businesses launch their strategies in established markets, this CEO bets on emerging new markets in the semiconductor industry. Investing in Vietnam now is a done deal as the revenue tripled after 5 years, and the stock price grew by 170%.
Dedicate ourselves to make Vietnam also our home. I announced yesterday that NVIDIA will create an entity here in Vietnam.
Leading chip manufacturing corporations have carried out specific plans in Vietnam. With a total investment of $1.6 billion, Amkor Technology Group is building its largest factory for semiconductor chip production on a 23-hectare plot.
The group's strategy is to build our largest factory here. We surveyed many locations and chose Vietnam because of its ecosystem, including many semiconductor, electronic equipment and microchip suppliers.
The Emerging Giants in Asia-Pacific report, published by HSBC Bank and global auditing company KPMG, stated that Vietnam is one of Asia's countries with the youngest and most dynamic startups. This is a resource for national innovation.
Leaders, all the way up to the Prime Minister, have given clear direction to make necessary reforms and to increase government's investment in Vietnam's people and in Vietnam's infrastructure.
The Emerging Giants in Asia-Pacific report, published by HSBC Bank and global auditing company KPMG, stated that Vietnam is one of Asia's countries with the youngest and most dynamic startups. This is a resource for national innovation.
Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport on Friday welcomed a record of 151,000 passengers returning to Ho Chi Minh City after the Tết holiday. However, no congestion was evident as the airport executed its pre-prepared plans.
Many passengers have just touched down in Ho Chi Minh City at the airport's domestic terminals.
I flew from Hai Dương City to Ho Chi Minh City for work after the Lunar New Year holiday.
I flew from Bình Định to Ho Chi Minh City and then to Japan tonight.
964 flights took off and landed at this international airport on Friday, nearly 500 of which were incoming flights. To avoid congestions inside and outside the airport during the peak period, the management board applied the ACDM model so that coordinating units can keep updated about flight status, forecasts, plans, and when to increase the number of flights to reduce delays.
Passengers can be picked up at the right place without causing congestion at the airport gates. Especially during Tết, transport companies have committed to providing a 20% higher service supply to ensure that all passengers traveling before and after Tết have vehicles at their disposal. Youth union members will stand in front of the security scanner to assist passengers, instructing them to put items into the scanner. They also provide flight information and help collect strollers, so everything runs smoothly.
In addition, the airport also tested a cashless toll collection system at the gate area. This helps reduce waiting time and limit congestion, despite the higher volume of passengers.
On Friday morning, an international cruise ship arrived at Chiang Mai port in Thừa Thiên Huế province, carrying over 2,800 passengers and a large number of crew members. The Celebrity Salt 6 cruise ship, the first international cruise ship to arrive after the Lunar New Year, made a stop at Chiang Mai port. During their day-long stay, the passengers will visit popular tourist destinations in the central region, including historical relics in Thừa Thiên Huế province, the ancient town of Hội An in Quảng Nam, and various attractions in Da Nang City. The recovery of international cruise lines has already begun. In 2024, there are 40 registered ships scheduled to arrive at Chiang Mai port, carrying over 73,000 passengers and more than 31,000 crew members. In February alone, there will be 11 consecutive international cruise ships docking at Chiang Mai port. Mangrove forests can absorb and store 4 to 10 times more carbon than terrestrial forests, so they have great potential for carbon credits. That is also why the number of investors and businesses looking for opportunities to buy carbon credits for mangrove in Vietnam is increasing. To further restore and expand the area of mangroves in Vietnam, businesses in Cà Mau province have launched a project to recruit the help of locals' mangrove protections and care.
A mangrove restoration area was formed in Cà Mau province in January. With financial support from businesses, local farmers in the area have committed to protecting mangroves for at least 5 years. In addition, the farmers will also regularly trim the mangroves so they can still farm shrimp in the area.
I plant mangroves so my children and grandchildren's lives can be better. As we care for them, the mangrove and shrimp farming areas expand because the shrimp will find shelters there. We place fences here to inform the people not to enter the planting area. We also place a system of nets here to prevent the seeds from getting out into the sea.
Mangrove range expansion is expected to protect the coast from increasing erosion. However, people's awareness is crucial in protecting the restoration areas.
Initially, many only knew that the forest gave them fish and shrimp. For the first time, they learned about climate change and global warming. Once they understood, they committed to protecting the environment and the forest with us. Here, no life can prosper without the mangroves. The mangroves nurture the environment, the ecosystem, and humans. We must protect the mangroves so that our younger generations can have a better life.
The annual boat racing festival in Phie province comes alive each Lunar New Year, and this year, Tuy Hoa City take pride in hosting the 26th editions of this esteemed festival. This year, Dragon Boat Racing Festival sees participation from 32 associations representing 16 communes and localities, including 16 men and 16 women teams. The event attracts thousands of visitors. Rooted in cultures and religious traditions, the festival embodies profound humanistic values, offering prayers for national peace, bountiful marine harvest, and prosperity in every household. Coming up next in our war news, Munich Security Conference 2024 kicks off. And EU cuts forecast for Eurozone growth. An estimated 60 heads of state and over 85 government officials met on Friday at the Munich Security Conference to discuss ongoing conflicts and potential future ones. Front and center of this year's three-day conference are the ongoing conflicts in Europe and the Middle East and the potential path to a resolution. Rising tensions in the Indo-Pacific, mass migration, radical Islamic terrorism, and organized crimes are also expected to be high on the agenda. According to the Munich Security Report 2024, amid growing geopolitical tensions and rising economic uncertainty, many governments are no longer focusing on the absolute benefits of global cooperation, but are increasingly concerned that they are gaining less than others. The European Commission's EC on Friday lowered the 2024 economic growth and inflation forecast for the Eurozone. The EC forecast showed that last year's rate hikes by the European Central Bank have positively impacted the bloc. Accordingly, inflation is expected to slow from 5.4% last year to 2.7% this year, while growth is now expected at a modest 0.8%, half as much as the estimates in May. Since the beginning of the year, the European Central Bank has kept interest rate unchanged, but there are growing predictions that the bank will start cutting interest rate this year as inflation falls and economic growth weakens. Authorities of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, China said on Friday that they had arrested 7 people suspected of being involved in a $1.8 billion money laundering case, the largest ever in the city. The 7 local residents were part of a large-scale transnational syndicate that used various shell companies and bank accounts to transfer large sums from overseas to the city under the guise of running international trading businesses. Authorities believe the syndicate received remittances from India in name of exporting electronic devices, diamonds, gems, and precious metals. Proceeds were then transferred to bank accounts in Hong Kong, China for money laundering. Recently, environmental protection has become a great concern worldwide. Sharing this common concern with others, an artist in the African country of Gabon is turning waste paper into art, hoping to inspire people to reduce waste and protect the environment.
Eddie Hendricks Mayambo, a Gabonese artist and designer, works primarily with salvaged paper and cardboard, using an origami-like pleating technique to create his pieces, which he has exhibited in Senegal, Burkina Faso, and Russia. He hopes to inspire people to reconsider the concept of waste.
Paper is like all the other materials that are considered waste, and already the term waste is often a term that is, well, used wrongly because it's just resources, but we have difficulty grasping the importance of, like plastic and soda cans today, which are rampant and polluting our environment. It's, for me, a nod to environmental protection.
Mayambo believes art and design must be accessible to everyone and should not be reserved for the wealthy. His works are currently on display in Libreville's Galerie Éphémère and the French Institute of Gabon, as well as in the Prime Minister's office.
It is indeed very impressive. It incorporates an ancestral folding technique, referencing Asian methods. And there is also something very contemporary, which is the question of paper recycling. So there's also an environmental consideration.
Although he dreams of participating in more exhibitions abroad, Mayombo also intends to engage Gabonese and African audiences with his work. He hopes to open a better equipped studio where he can work with young people.
And now let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.